Okay, so we're back. So, the Rock Crusher 200. And with the amount of stuff that we have to do with this thing, I'm surprised that it didn't get finished already. He should have just finished it up. But anyway, maybe something bad happened to him, I don't know. Okay, so I think first what we'll do is, I think I'll just start out by showing you what happens if you, well, because there's, each one of these you can fail pretty badly, but the only one that's really interesting is the ignition sequence, because with these, it's just going to fail in those particular systems when they get to the point where those are necessary, and it's not really that interesting to see. The fuel line would obviously need it to make it move. It won't go anywhere without it. The frequency for the laser to track down fingerprints, footprints, things like that. The battery for powering the lighting system, and the drill, obviously, for drilling. The ignition sequence has some interesting stuff, so we'll check that one out.
That must be the ignition. Let's have a look. Oh well.
That's not good.
Let's see. It looks like I have to turn those blocks. No, just the blue ones. So if the marble comes in here, it'll get rerouted back up to there. Complex. So that the ball is routed through each of these red switches, and then goes out this pipe here to the ignition switch.
Seems like a overly complicated ignition system, but whatever. I didn't design it. Alright, so yeah, you gotta light up all three of these and then go through here. And it's pretty easy. You can do that simply by turning this, and I think, let's see. Oh, wait, no. Turn that one too, then it'll take you there. Yeah, so that's all you have to do. You only have to turn like 2 blocks. So let's go ahead and see what happens if you start it up without having done any of the other stuff.
How sweet it is! Sit!
Everything going okay so far?
I still don't know what's in the vault. We'll find out soon enough. Come on. All right, I'm coming.
Well, this ought to be interesting.
That's disturbing.
I wasn't sure you could do it. Yeah, well, it wasn't easy.
I'll save my comments for later.
Get off of me!
Oh, and as you can see, very comfortable seating.
Please, company.
Hit the gas! Good going, Elroy. Wait up. Ruin everything. It's not like you were a big help, you know.
Mixing fuel is a very tricky process.
So much for the revitalizer.
Digging your way to an underground vault.
Yes, ma'am.
To recover the revitalizer?
Yes, ma'am.
From a mysterious underground crime corporation.
Yes, ma'am.
That's the most ridiculous excuse I've ever heard.
Brilliant crime boss masterminds record heist. Last year's Insectathon winners and friend head for summer school.
Are you sure you follow the recipe for the fuel, Elroy?
Dropping hints. Yeah, a ridiculous excuse that maybe, but I'm telling you, if they took that story and turned it into a game, I bet there'd be people who'd play it. Alright, pause here and we'll be right back. Okay, so, let's go ahead and have a look at the other, actually, you know what, before we do that.
That must be the ignition. Let's have a look.
Yeah, we've seen that. While we're doing this, since we did it correctly, let's show what happens if you do it incorrectly. So let's see, goes in there, comes down here, goes in that one. We'll completely miss this one. Okay, let's try that.
I don't like the sound of that.
Or do I?
Well,
Wow.
that's it. I don't have any more uncles. So much for the revitalizer.
So much for our summer.
Next time, be a little more careful, will ya?
Brilliant crime boss masterminds record heist. Last year's Insectathon winners and friend head for summer school.
Okay, apparently the Rock Crusher 200 has a self-destruct option when you get the ignition sequence wrong. Let's go back to where we were. Alright, so let's just check out the other systems and we'll do them correctly.
That's probably where the fuel gets mixed. Did you check the recipe, Elroy? Not yet. Just having a look. Getting familiar with the situation. What a strange assortment of materials. We'll have to be very careful here. It looks like this is a one-shot deal.
Like most things in this game. Alright, so we got a list of things here, but not necessarily things that will go into the fuel. So we don't really know much about that yet.
This isn't going to be easy. The laser. Let's have a look. How would I know what frequency is correct? The information's gotta be here somewhere. Laser must be calibrated to the proper wavelength for tracking criminals.
Alright, well, clearly we need a 3-digit code here, but we don't know what it is, so that's not going to help.
Better get some more information before I dive into this one. Let's check out the battery. Might want to take a look at the workbench first, Elroy. Alright, we gotta make this thing work.
Hint, hint.
Without lights, we won't have a chance. Looks like I only have one chance with the liquid. There's no way to get it out once I put it in.
Okay, so we need 2 bars of metal, one of these, and we need an acidic liquid. Because if you know how a battery works, you need two bars, yeah, well, you'll see that.
This isn't going to be easy. Let's have a look at that gear mechanism. Better be sure you know which way those gears are supposed to turn, Elroy. As soon as I take stock of the situation. Looks like I need to figure out how to use these bands to get the drill to turn in the right direction. If I connect the proper gears and pulleys, the drill should work correctly. If I don't, we'll never get to the revitalizer. The gear on the far right is obviously the drive gear, and the one on the far left looks like the one connected to the drill.
Okay, so this one turns counterclockwise. We want this one to figure out which way it needs to go. So if we figure out which direction this needs to turn, then we know we can figure out how to do that. But we need to figure a little more information first.
Hope that's right.
Okay, so now we can check out the workbench.
What have we here? There should be all kinds of helpful information there. Is this your uncle?
Oh boy.
Yeah. Oh, boy, are we in trouble. Huh? Oh,
Yeah.
nothing.
I wouldn't trust any vehicle that guy created. Okay, looks like we have a little more information about the systems here.
Marble key drop ignition system incorporates the use of adjustable titanium cubes to guide the marble through complex interior systems of conveyor belts and elevators. There is a temporary backdoor abort switch which can be tripped just before the marble completes the circuit, allowing for in-house testing. A limited number of marbles are available for ignition at any given time.
Yeah, we're pretty familiar with that system by now. Oh, and I didn't show it, but if you run out of marbles, I tried it earlier in a test run. You do run out of marbles, but the game doesn't like fail or anything. You just kind of get stuck.
Gearing mechanism for boring tool. The small gears located at the 2 sides of the compartment are linked to the larger gears and pulleys that power the drill. The right gear is the main drive wheel connected to the motor. It turns counterclockwise. Warning, the drill must spin clockwise to actually dig.
Aha, so now we know what to do with the drill. We could go do that now, but let's read the rest of these.
Dedicated electric storage cell battery. Standard dye soft battery casing with custom inner workings. See notebook entry for more complete description.
Yeah, so we're going to have to check out the notebook for information on that. I kind of gave away a little bit of information before I should have, but we'll see that in a second. Let's see, so this one.
Laser frequency modulator. Common XXL2 LCD monitor with coaxial cable connections.
Coaxial.
Calculator interface tied directly to Crazy Jimmy's $12.99 laser frequency box and wired directly to the cockpit of the RC200.
Definitely the setup of a guy working out of his garage, or in this case, some big factory.
Fuel containment unit. The fuel must be mixed shortly before ignition. The recipe must be followed carefully due to the volatility of the mixture. Once the mixture is complete, it is pumped directly into the containment unit.
That's nice. Okay, so let's see. Let's check out the journal then.
This must have been your uncle's journal. The Rock Crusher 200, a partial recollection, 2/14/94.
So as the date of this game, it's been about 2 years since they worked on it.
A brand new notebook, and I spill acidic liquid on it.
Yeah, that was the part I accidentally gave away a moment ago. The acidic liquid, which looks a lot like orange juice in this case. Alright, drill mechanics. So rather than let him read all this, I'll just explain it real quick. So yeah, gears that are connecting to each other will turn opposite each other. When a band is connecting pulleys, they will turn in the same direction, and the drill must turn clockwise in order to function according to this. Okay, here's some information about the battery.
422. Without lights, the RC200 will be useless. Due to the adverse conditions the RC200 is sure to encounter, it is necessary to build a dedicated battery for the lights in case of generator failure. I'm building a battery. For a battery to work properly, a rod of zinc and a rod of copper must be immersed in an acidic liquid. These three materials are known as conductors because they allow electricity to pass through them. Elements that don't allow electricity to pass through them are called insulators.
Okay, so you have 2 metal rods and the acidic liquid, and that will build the battery. So we'll have to figure out which of those that could be. Actually, it just told us here, never mind. Zinc and copper. So now we know which ones to use. And we don't really need to know more about that. We've seen that system plenty of times now.
Light amplification by stimulated emission of radiation. Why doesn't he just write laser? L-A-S-E-R.
Because he's eccentric.
4/15/95. I have built the Rock Crusher 200 around a tracking device in order to enable crime enforcement units to follow the trail of underground criminals.
Because apparently criminals leave a specific frequency of trail.
The laser must be calibrated to the proper frequency in order to perform correctly.
Yeah.
Here's the difference between normal light, white light, and laser light. The frequencies of the waves in white light are all out of sync with each other, so the prism separates them into separate colors. But with laser light, the frequencies of the waves are the same, so the laser passes through, unfazed.
I think Nancat's Pop-Tart body has the same effect on light. Little pop culture reference there.
4/26/95. The fuel recipe is very important. I will require mass production of the mixture once the RC200 reaches the marketplace.
Yeah, because I'm sure plenty of people will be wanting to buy these things.
NaCl plus C6H2O6 plus H2O plus Ag plus CaCO3.
And no, that's not a super complicated math problem. That's actually just chemical compositions of some kind of material, probably related to the fuel.
Caution. Do not engage fuel injection system until all ingredients are in the hopper.
But what if you don't know what these are? Well, there's a solution to that. Because if you look down in here...
This looks useful.
Yeah, just might be useful. So it's got a list of some items here and their chemical compositions, apparently. So if we go back to this...
Hey, these guys match up. Lucky you.
So now we can figure out what the fuel is. So NaCl.
Table salt.
This whole thing is that one.
Corn syrup.
And Ag film. And this one,
Chalk.
So now we can take this over to the fuel. We can figure out we need table salt, film, corn syrup, and chalk. Let's go ahead and do that now.
Another round with a fuel mixture.
So
Little table salt, a little
Film.
film, a little corn syrup, a little chalk. Here goes nothing. Hope that's right.
What's the Rock Crusher 200 for anyway? Uncle Rivera was convinced that it would transform the mining, transportation, and crime-fighting industries.
Ambitious fella. I like that.
However, I doubt it would actually help any of those industries. That was a very strange fuel mixture. I don't see how that would help anything. But okay, so I think we got the fuel down. And I think we can do this. Yeah, we can do these two.
Let's have another look at the gear mechanism.
Okay, so we wanted this to turn clockwise. Okay, so counter, then this way. Let's see, if we connect a band here, I don't think we can reach that, can we?
Rubber band's too short for that.
Okay. Let's see, this way, that way, so that would continue to turn that way because the bands are connecting it, which would make this turn this way, this one this way, that one, and clockwise. Okay. Okay, that's done.
That's about all I can take for now.
How's it coming, Elroy?
I'm making progress.
Well, you better get the lead out. The dossier said these guys chew a lot of gum.
Nag, nag, nag. Okay, and I think we can do the battery too.
Back to the battery.
Oh, okay, one thing. So we know it's copper and zinc, but let's say that you don't know which of those that is.
Better get some more information before I dive into this one.
There is a way for that, to figure
The
that out.
periodic table. These notations ought to come in handy.
Yeah, probably related to the fuel or the battery. Maybe both.
Now he'll actually sit here and read all of these.
Kutchatovium.
Is that even real? I'm not sure. Okay, but yeah, you would come over here and see
Copper, zinc.
they're both right next to each other, and for those who aren't familiar with the periodic table of elements, the way their symbol is used, whenever they can use like an English letter or something for their name, that's fine. But if that's already taken, yeah, like right here, so nitrogen is just N because it's the first N one on here. Then neon comes up, so they put like Ne. And sometimes they'll do, they'll go with the Latin name. So like Cu, I forget exactly what that is, but in Latin, the word for copper would have a Cu, so would be significant to it. A good example of that is, let's see, where is it? Oops. Huh. I'm looking for gold. I don't see it on here. I know it's on here. Well, okay, here's an example. Silver, Ag. Yeah, that's, here we go, gold, Au. That kind of thing. These are the Latin words for those. Anyway, so we now know that we want Cu for copper and Zn for zinc. So we can go back
Back to the battery.
and put that in. So Cu here and Zn, perfect.
I wonder which side the bar goes on.
I don't think it matters. Uncle Rivera showed me that once.
Okay. Let's hope this is the right one.
Yep. And then we need an acidic liquid, as they told us. And we saw earlier that he had spilled this, and I kind of mentioned that even before that. But orange juice, because this is not, that's definitely not, and this most certainly isn't.
A little orange juice.
Don't forget to put the lid on the box when you're done.
Okay, thanks for the reminder. Hope that's right.
There's definitely something odd going on at Glob Enterprises.
Like what?
According to their records, the vault is empty. There's gotta be something inside.
So she's just sitting over there doing a bunch of hacking or something? Alright, let's see. Am I going to have time for this in this video? We'll see. Let's check this out. Well, first let's look at this.
Laser frequency chart. This must be for that laser modulator thingy.
Aha! So we have a list of different laser colors and the frequencies that they run at. But we don't really know which one we need, so we'll come back to that a little later.
Okay. There are several important things to remember about the rock crusher.
That sounds like Uncle Rivera.
Number one, at top
Doesn't
speed,
sound
the
like a
rock crusher
guy.
will likely give a pretty wild ride, so hang on to your britches.
Number 2, the cockpit is built to accommodate one person. Additional passengers may experience quite a bit of discomfort. Number 3, the rock crusher is capable of collapsing into smaller and smaller transportation units, depending on the capabilities required. You see?
That should be interesting.
Let's just hope we can get it to work.
Okay, so a little bit of detailed information. Let's check this
The
out.
Art of Tracking Criminals, presented by Lieutenant Richard Bolte.
As you will soon see, in the case of the hacksaw forgers, we incorporated the use of lasers to track down the culprit. Our team of highly skilled scientists developed a way to follow
It's Samuel L.
fingerprints left
Jackson.
on objects by using a green laser. The fingerprints glowed when illuminated with the laser and showed us where he had gone.
Okay, so green laser.
What was that Lieutenant Richard said about lasers? Green, 570 trillion hertz.
Okay, so now we know what we need. Back to the machine.
Here we are again with the laser. Okay.
Alright, so where is it? There it is.
5, 7, 0. Let's keep our fingers crossed.
Okay, so I think we've completed all the systems. And we'll go ahead and do the ignition sequence, but we will do that in the next video.
Off to the marble key drop ignition system.
Yeah, okay. So we'll do that in the next video, and I hope to see you there. We'll see if this worked, if we got everything correct. See you then, folks. Bye for now.